Hello everybody, I got a little something different for you today. Must apologize because it's not very happy. Not in the slightest, and it's not art related either, so forgive me there, but I think it's important, so yeehaw. Trigger warning, this video contains mistreatment of a minor by an older male. This is about Jessi Slaughter and Dahvie Vanity. Just a little while ago, Jessi Slaughter somehow re-entered my thoughts. Definitely a topic filed away in my memory for quite a long time that I had forgotten about. Wondered how she was doing after everything. Looking back on the subject now 10 years later, I realized how wrong we were. I think the internet owes her the biggest apology, whether or not the internet does, of course. I definitely will, and I will definitely inform the public about the story and an absolute monster that we all need to avoid. I am talking about Damien, shortened to Dami, who online went as Jessi Slaughter on MySpace in 2010 and became a huge internet meme and source of mass ridicule. I feel a tiny bit personally responsible, even though I didn't directly take part in like the 4chan raids, doxing, pizza phone calls, threats, and overall internet harassing. I was among those who sat behind their computer screens with a bag of popcorn, enjoying the events unfold. As a young teen, I thought it was hilarious, and I thought she had what was coming to her. Now knowing more, I believed that she deserves so much better, and we failed her. I was one of those kids with a MySpace. I had this scene hair and was pretty edgy. I also had a bad case of wanting male attention, and I was of course in denial about it at the time. And I wanted to be, quote unquote, one of the guys. My freshman year was when I started taking interest in 4chan, as some of my friends frequented it. It became a source of all sorts of memes before memes were like a household topic. There's this almost hipster feeling to it. You could stay up to date on internet memes and watch the cringy 40-year-old news reporters pick up on it, rather badly I may add, months later. It wasn't long after all of this that I discovered a thread, which was something along the lines of you rage, you lose, or something of that nature, where people post really infuriating videos or things for the sake of just raging over it. I believe it was there I saw Jessi's video. In it was a literal 10-year-old girl swearing at her haters and saying awful vulgar things in it, and what I thought at the time was a very sad attempt at a quote-unquote scene appearance. A lot about her was hateable. She had what I thought was bad hair, bad makeup that made her look mean. She talked with a complete disgusting disrespect and I'm better than you attitude that I hated. To be honest, I could see a lot of people in her that I didn't like, and I kind of believe at the time I pinned that hate on her additionally unfairly. She represented the exact personality I couldn't stand in a person, and seeing people put her in her place was absolutely delicious to me. Like, I ate that stuff up. My memory of the situation is that she came after 4chan for roasting her, which of course is swatting the wasp nest, which made them come after her in full force. She was doxxed because Anonymous found a Facebook of hers, or her mother's, I forget, with their phone number, I believe, and address, and you can just imagine what ensued. And of course, with stuff like that, it's best to back off, but she insisted on posting and fighting with her haters, as I remember it, until her life unraveled. I remember talking to friends about it, and even pulling an all-nighter to catch her interview on Good Morning America at 8 a.m. in the morning. It was painted as this huge cyberbullying scenario, which the internet and myself felt like was a big fat lie. It was like they took a situation they didn't understand and twisted it into some boohoo cyberbullying story for some views and clicks and boohoos. Her image, prior to the boomers picking up the stories for their news programs, was painted as this provocative and sexually active girl with no self-respect. Even I had seen some of her nudes, or like close to nudes, which is horrible, unacceptable cheese pizza, and I wished I would have snapped out of the dumbness. By the time I thought that she was trailer trash, that she was slutty, the whole shebang. After that whole big blow up on the internet, she was later put in foster care, various mental institutions apparently, and later put out a public apology for Dahvie Vanity from Blood on the Dance Floor for accusations she had made. Let's talk about that actually. During my memory of this whole thing as it went down, I do remember a splash of that Dahvie had some sort of inappropriate relationship with her, but it wasn't really at like the forefront of the whole ordeal, and I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I remember a tiny crappy picture of them together supposedly, but I wasn't sure if I believed it or not. I also didn't understand how a 10-year-old child was hanging out with an adult musical artist like that. I didn't really fully believe it, but like I said, it wasn't at the forefront of the situation. It was something I might have read somewhere once and didn't really see much about it again afterwards. I had no idea that Dahvie stuff really created this horror ordeal, where I thought it was just a kid with a bad attitude and terrible parents running loose on the internet. So let's talk about the real story and what actually happened. Jessica Leonhardt, who now goes by Dami Leonhardt, was a 10-year-old from a small Florida town who was getting into the whole emo scene stuff, as it was popular at the time. I was getting into it at 12 years old as well, so I understand how that appealed to her. She stumbled upon Dahvie Vanity online, who was getting big on MySpace at the time and was making music and such. She liked this edgy culture, she liked the music, and inevitably got entangled in local Blood on the Dance Floor band and Dahvie. They messaged on MySpace and apparently eventually met up at a small concert in Florida before they got big. They talked before the show, after the show, and then later began hanging out. You may be thinking, what on earth is this 24-year-old singer doing with a child? How did her parents allow this? And the answer is, on the outside it was portrayed as a mentor type of relationship, with Dahvie teaching her music with some lame promise that she'd later become part of the band or a merch girl or something like that. Her brother talked to Dahvie on the phone a couple of times and everything seemed a-okay. On the inside of the situation, however, Dahvie was pressuring this child, who still played with dolls at the time, into an adult relationship. This man, in his 20-somethings, covered in crazy hair and makeup, was the lead of a growing band in the face of a fashion and musical movement adored by young teens across the nation. Real name Jesus David Torres is an idol to unknowing young fans, like that of Jessi Slaughter. This is someone she thought was cool and was mesmerized that someone so big and attractive, in her eyes not mine, would take a liking to her. He was no idiot, however. He made sure to tell her to keep it on the down low, and when in public with her, would act like she was his little sister or cousin or something, which is super gross. Any pictures they had taken together were taken on only his physical camera that she had no access to, until she got her hands on one and made it her profile picture on MySpace. She was proud, she was excited, and wanted to convince her friends that she was really friends with Dahvie, since apparently at the time they didn't believe her. She thought eventually they would become a real couple. When he found out about the picture, he got angry at her. Then I guess came to terms with it and was like, whatever, it just looks like a picture with a fan. Jesus did force her into sexual acts, which I will not go into detail to for obvious reasons. Shit's nasty. She never spoke up or anything of the sort, however, because of course she's 10 years old and didn't know any better. She didn't want to get into trouble. She didn't want her idol to get into trouble either. Otherwise, her world was seemingly going fine until July 2010, a post accusing Dahvie of having an inappropriate relationship with Jessi Slaughter was posted to Sticky Drama, a gossip forum type website related to Sticky Cam, I believe, which is like a webcam website. A couple of days later, Jessi posted her legendary vulgar video in response to it, which I will not play here, but I will link to it in the description so that you can watch it. Warning, it's really inappropriate. Some rando happened upon her video, I guess, and dropped the video on a You Rage You Lose thread on 4chan's B, where of course it pissed off a lot of people. I do just want to take a second before going into more on the story to point out, at the time of posting that video, she was 11, and 11-year-olds don't know those kinds of things. Like, that language and that behavior was something she was taught. She was in an environment where those sorts of things were the norm. She wants to be badass, she wants to be tough and as cool as the people that she's looking up to and is hanging out with, and wants to prove people who doubt her wrong. At the time, I hated her for her behavior, but as an adult looking back, I feel so bad for her. She had no good role models in her life to pull her out of that, and her parents clearly weren't doing the job they should have. I remember seeing her get roasted for posting inappropriate pictures, but I think it's unacceptable for a child that young to have a webcam unsupervised in the first place. Of course, after 4chan roasting her, she has all the comebacks and the nasty attitude to act like she wasn't famous unfazed by her haters. This led to the legendary 4chan raid we knew and loved. The next legendary video, which birthed most of the memes, came afterwards, where she posted her breakdown with her father yelling in the background. This is where the "you done goofed" and "because I backtraced it" all came from. Again, won't play the video, but link is below. If you need to pause to watch it, go right ahead. At the beginning, her father became a huge meme. Looking back, it's really sad and pathetic that the internet came after a child so hard. People were calling her a liar because of Dahvie, threatening her, etc. It felt like sweet revenge to some, but for now 12-year-old victim Jessi, as this happened on her birthday, her life would be forever changed. Not just from her home life, but friendships would be ruined, her mental health would break down, and be damaged for the rest of her life. From that day onward, Dahvie and Jessi's contact was cut off for good, which she might not have been the happiest about, but in the long run it's probably for the better. He later made a video mocking her video with her dad, and also wrote a song mocking her, and sang, of course, disgusting, unsavory things, which is pretty pathetic. From a predatory relationship, Dahvie gained more fame, and the victim was further victimized and tortured. Again, previously I said I've seen her nudes or close to nudes online, among many things leaked, and I wanted to reiterate that this isn't a whore, but a broken, manipulated child around the wrong people. Normal 11-year-olds don't just take nudes. Like, I didn't even know what half of the stuff she was saying at that time was when I was her age. It's horrible. She isn't responsible for that whole situation. If something like that were to happen again, we need to go after the true monster in question, and more importantly, need to reach out and help / support the victim. In Dami's situation, it would have been better if people stepped up to the plate and supported her like they should have. A child doesn't need piercings and snake bites. A child doesn't need unsupervised internet access, and especially webcam. And a child certainly does not need to be hanging out with a man old enough to be her father. Again, unsupervised. Her parents failed her, Dahvie failed her, and the internet failed her. I never once saw, for instance, like an older seeing girl reach out her hand and support Jessi and offer to be a better role model. Like, you could be seen or emo or whatever, have those kinds of friends, and still not be the kind of person Jessi was molded into at the time. She later made an apology video for her accusations against Dahvie, but posts from her, even more so in the future when she was a little bit older, did indicate that he did in fact sexually assault her. And she did just recently do an interview with Chris Hansen and all that, which I recommend you watch. To wrap this story up, the internet did Jessi Slaughter dirty. She deserves so much better. On behalf of the internet, we are sorry. And on behalf of just myself, who was once a dumb teen spectating the internet to tear apart a literal child without doing anything, I am sorry. Your suffering is not funny. You are pretty and amazing, and I hope your life goes much, much better. You didn't deserve what happened to you, and I hope all the best in the world for you. Stay strong. Alright, that's it, my good dear buds. Sorry for a really dark, negative video. Tried to make it quick and not too graphic, but it is what it is. Promise I got another one coming down the pipe that's actually funny and lighthearted, and one that was requested, so look forward to that. If you watched this all the way through, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really do think this is a situation that deserves light and to be to inform people about it, and that this girl deserves so much better. I will try posting her links if I could find them to social media accounts so you can support her and send her your love. And yeah, be good, my dear friends. Stay safe, stay healthy. See you later. Bye.